The new CEO of Haverton Tech, a rising AI firm in Manchester, walked briskly into the glass tower for his first official day. At just 42, Victoria Langford had taken the tech world by storm. She held degrees from Oxford and Stanford, and had been poached from Silicon Valley to turn around the underperforming UK branch. As her assistant led her through the building, Victoria surveyed the space. Open workspaces, smart boards, espresso machines, it all looked the part. But something felt off. There was a stiffness in the staff's eyes. Fear, not admiration. She stopped at the executive elevator but paused when she noticed a man in blue overalls unlocking a nearby door with a heavy ring of keys. He whistled quietly, smiled at her, and said, "Mornin', Mississippi. First day?" Victoria nodded. "Yours too." He chuckled. "Been here longer than any of them. Name's Samuel. I keep the place breathing." She smiled politely and stepped into her lift. Over the next several weeks, Victoria initiated sweeping changes. Department heads were replaced, new software was rolled out, and a weekly performance metric dashboard became mandatory. Meetings ran like military drills. But despite all the changes, morale plummeted. Innovation slowed. Resignations quietly increased. Victoria couldn't understand it. She was a data wizard, a strategy queen, but her people were slipping through the cracks. One evening, frustrated and still in the office at 9 p.m., she heard a familiar whistle echo down the corridor. She stepped out of her office and saw Samuel sweeping the hallway. "Still here?" she asked. Samuel smiled. "Place needs cleanin', same as people." She chuckled lightly. "You're a philosopher janitor?" He shrugged. "Been called worse." She sat on a bench near the hallway. "Tell me something, Samuel. Why are people unhappy here?" "I've improved efficiency. We're meeting targets." Samuel leaned on his broom. "A machine can meet a target, but only people can feel valued." Victoria stared at him. "You want real answers, not reports," he said. "Then walk with me tomorrow. At 6 a.m. She raised an eyebrow. "That early?" "Before the suits arrive. That's when you see what really matters." The next morning she did. At 6:01 a.m., Victoria met Samuel in the lobby. No makeup, ponytail, hoodie over leggings. Samuel handed her a mop. "Don't worry, just pretend." They walked floor to floor. He introduced her to the overnight maintenance crew. To Maria in the kitchen, who made breakfast for the devs who stayed too long. To Elijah in the mailroom, who memorized everyone's birthdays and often bought cards out of his own pocket. To Letitia, who ran IT support but had never been formally recognized despite solving half the company's problems overnight. Each of these people had stories, struggles, dreams, and none of them showed up in the quarterly reports. "You see," Samuel said, "people don't quit jobs. They quit being invisible." Victoria listened. Truly listened. That morning changed her. Over the following months, she reshaped her leadership. She implemented weekly open-door sessions with staff from all departments. She invited anonymous feedback and acted on it. She created a hidden hero initiative honoring unseen contributors across the company. The company culture began to shift. Innovation returned. Employees smiled again. The turnover slowed. At the company's annual meeting, she gave a keynote. But before her prepared remarks, she called someone up to the stage. Most of you know him as the janitor. But to me, he's the man who held the key to this company's heart. Samuel stepped onto the stage, confused and overwhelmed. She continued, "It took someone who'd never attended a board meeting to teach me how to truly lead." Samuel received a standing ovation that lasted longer than any shareholder presentation ever had. Years later, when Victoria was named one of the world's top CEOs by The Economist, she was asked in an interview, "What was the turning point in your leadership journey?" She smiled and answered, "A broom. And the man who carried it." The most powerful insights often come from the quietest voices. Never underestimate the wisdom of those overlooked by titles. Sometimes, the janitor holds the key to the entire building's soul.